What's up, y'all? It's your girl Jay Rene for Prison Riot Radio. I hope that you are doing well. Today we get to talk with Mr. Chad Marks. Okay, he is on this side of the G wall. He is a free man. He is doing a lot for those that are incarcerated. However, I'm gonna let him introduce himself because I think he can do it best. We appreciate him very much for being here. How you doing, bro?
Well, I'll tell you this. I certainly appreciate you. I'll tell people, a little bit about my story. My name is Chad Marks. At the age of 24, I was sentenced to a 40-year federal mandatory minimum for what really is a nonviolent drug crime. It was a crack cocaine case with two 924Cs. I'm not sure if your viewers know exactly what a 924C is, but it's possession of a weapon and furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. And eventually, Donald Trump, his administration passed the First Step Act, and they changed that step. But what they didn't do was make it retroactive. So that means that numerous people are sitting in prison still. But I was able to get out through the compassionate release statute. But numerous African American brothers and Hispanics and poor whites are still sitting in prison under those laws.
Right. You spent quite a bunch of time behind bars. It was 17 years that you spent?
17 years, 5 months, and 21 days, actually.
Okay. So tell the people how you stay motivated through that. Like, how did you keep your head up pushing forward?
Well, I'm going to say this, right? If I didn't tell you that I had 40 years when I was in prison, you would never know how much time I had. But I stay motivated because I got to that law library, right around when I first went to prison. I knew that no one else was going to get me out of jail but myself. So I went to that law library, and every day my life was dedicated to getting out of prison.
Right.
So I worked hard in that law library. While my stuff was filed, other people started coming to me, asking me for help. I became a jailhouse lawyer in prison. I helped numerous other people get out of prison, but that was always my focus, that when I was out here hustling and getting money, I was for real about it. So I had to be for real about my freedom, and I had to work every day to get out of prison, and I did that until the day I got out.
Right. Well, some people know what jailhouse lawyer means, but there's some people that's unfamiliar with that. Can you give a little explanation of what that meant to you or what that means in general?
Yep. So this is what it means. It means that I was in prison with a 40-year sentence at the age of 24. I went to that law library and I learned the law. It isn't like you go to law school and you get a degree. I'm a jailhouse lawyer. I'm a prisoner that learned the law. And after I learned the law, I used it to my benefit to get myself out of jail and numerous other people. I probably got over 100 people out of jail.
Wow. Wow, that's some dedication. What made you want to help others and not just yourself? What made you be so selfless?
Well, I'm from New York, right? And while I was in prison, there were dudes that would come to the law library with 20, 30 years. I'm talking about young men. Young men that were 18, 19, 20 years old. And it was alarming to me to see that these young brothers didn't know how to read and write.
Yeah.
So I was like, how could they ever get themselves out of prison if they don't even know how to read and write? They can't read the law. They can't understand the law. Right. And I despise what the government did to people.
Right.
So that's what motivated me to want to help other people. And then when you start winning cases and you start seeing the joy in other people's faces, that makes you want to keep doing that stuff. And I wouldn't just help people for free. Like, let's say a brother came in there and he didn't have a GED and he wanted to get out of jail. I'd make him enroll in school. I also taught GED classes in there, right?
Okay.
So I would make them enroll in school. If they had violence in their jacket, I'd make them get in the AVP program. I was a facilitator for the Alternative to Violence Project seminar. So I had to make sure that these people wanted to get out.
Right.
You can't just say, hey, I want to get out. What are you going to do when you get out?
Right.
And I wanted them to be prepared that when they did walk out of jail, that they were ready to be real fathers, real leaders, and, try to stop this vicious cycle.
Yeah. Dang. I appreciate that, bro. And I know there's others that do and our listeners that do as well. Thank you very much for giving of yourself to give back to everybody. That's really awesome. Like, that's really dope.
Well, I do it because I care. You hear me?
Yeah. We got to have a heart, This world is a hard place. So those of us that have a heart, we got to keep it, So
no doubt.
Let me ask you this. So one of the things I noticed, you're very active on Instagram. I see your posts all the time, and it seems like you're still doing something for the people. You didn't just come home and, stop doing everything. So what you got going on now?
Well, what I do is I got a YouTube channel. It's called Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Mm-hmm. And the mission is to save kids from life imprisonment and premature death in the streets. So I got the YouTube channel going. What I got is I got a paralegal and prison consulting firm.
Okay.
It's called Freedom Fighters. People can find us at www.myfreedomfighters.com. Mm-hmm. And what I'm doing is I'm still saving brothers and sisters that are behind bars, sitting in federal prison. And, you know, like I said before, I helped the rapper Lil Baby, his real father. Mm-hmm. I'm doing his case. He's a real close friend of mine. Okay. He had life plus 30 years in prison. So I've been working on that case. A lot of people don't know that's his real father. His name's Rodney Love. Mm-hmm. I did Russell Simmons' adopted son, Jinx the Juvie. I did his case. We just got him back. But I've helped over 100 people get out of prison, and we're still doing that. Man, and that's my mission. I told dudes when I left prison, I was going to be their voice when I got out, and I meant it because I know what it's like to be in there praying that somebody would help me. Right. And so many people will turn their back on you.
Right. You're right, bro. And I'm glad that they got you. I'm glad that you're being their voice and that you're still helping brothers. Like, we truly appreciate that, for real. Those that are incarcerated, formerly so, and those of us that are affected by incarceration. So we thank you very much for that. So how can
I love doing what I'm doing?
For sure. That's the way that it's got to come from the heart, for real, you know? It's got to come from the heart. So let me ask you, let the people know how to get in contact with you, where they can catch you on social media and stuff.
Okay. So they can always find me on Facebook, Chad Marks, Marks, Rochester, New York. They can hit me up on Instagram, Chad Marks 102. You check out our Blood on the Razor Wire TV YouTube channel. And, you know, if you like it, hit that subscribe button. We're doing big things over there. I don't do it. I'm not really making no money doing it. Right. But I do it because I care, and that's the mission. It's not just about dudes that are sitting in prison. Right. It's about also saving kids from life imprisonment and premature death through our experiences. This ain't no scared straight program. Right. This is real. It's raw, and I'm giving it to you how it is, and then they're going to make their decision, whatever decision they want to make. But I think those videos do help people. So you can find us on YouTube. Our email's right on there, on the channel and all that as well.
All right, so I got one more thing for you, bro, and then I'm gonna let you go. I know, you know, time is time, but leave the people with something, like a message that you want to leave the people with, whatever you want.
A message that I want to leave the people with. I'm gonna tell you this. Trust me when I tell you this. My best day in prison could never compare to my worst day in the street. Mm-hmm. There's nothing in this world worth losing your freedom for. And today, if you're listening to this, go look in the mirror and ask yourself what you're worth. And I hope that you say you're priceless. Because I used to tell people this in the classroom in prison. I used to ask dudes, yo, what are you worth? And they'd say, I'm worth $1 million, or I'm worth this. And I would say, you know what I was worth? When I was standing on the corner with, you know, $2,000 worth of crack in my pocket and a gun in my waist, right. That's what I was really worth. But I'm priceless now, and I want these dudes to see that. Even the young women that are heading down the wrong road. Right. Remember that you're priceless. And don't cash in your life. Don't cash in your freedom for pennies, because you're worth so much more.
I think that's awesome, bro. Well said. All right, I appreciate you for your time. And I thank you for, you know, coming on Prison Riot Radio and chopping it up with me and putting some stuff out there in the air that I think that people need.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I appreciate you, and I appreciate what you're doing for getting the message out there.
Thank you. Thank you. Got to. Lean with the heart, bro. That's all we can do.
No doubt.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.